What's going on to my sports card hobby friends and family? We are back again. It's another day. It's another sports card video. Today we're going to do a little bit of a show and tell and talk through collecting a variety of different genres or different types of trading cards. There's not one way to do it, and I think over the last, 6 years of being back in the hobby, I've definitely evolved, ebbed and flowed in and out of different things and kind of favored things. I was really into something, then got out of it into something else, and I think that's an important part of this hobby that I don't talk about probably enough is kind of buying, selling, trading. There's certain times where you might be really into a particular collectible, a particular trading card, set, player, whatever, and then it changes. You know, maybe it's a modern player that you're really into. Maybe today it's Ant-Man, it's Anthony Edwards. That's your guy. That's the guy you're sticking with that you like to collect. Maybe in a few years, though, you're like, you know what? I'm not really as fond of Ant-Man. I'm moving on to whoever it's going to be after that. Maybe it's Wemby in a few years, or maybe it's Michael Jordan, or maybe it's a football player. Who knows? And so I think that that's what's so cool is we are in control of our own collecting destiny when we are picking each and everything that we are after. So again, I know that there are a lot of people that fall into a very specific player. You know, you might be a big time Michael Jordan collector, or maybe you're Babe Ruth collector, and you're very focused in on that particular player and different cards for that player. And maybe you only want to own a handful of Babe Ruth cards. That's perfectly okay. And then there might be some people that have 50,000 cards. They got all the New England Patriots cards going back to the 60s. Anybody can do it however they want. So this is going to be kind of a fun discussion. I will talk about what I'm doing and why and that sort of thing and how I got here. First, big thanks to today's video sponsor, Pristine Auction. I won a few items last week, guys. I won a few items. I'm going to start with the one that's my favorite, frankly, because it's for me. The other ones are for my kids. One thing I like about Pristine, a lot of variety. You guys know I've got a lot of variety between trading cards, graded comic books, graded video games, all sorts of different things, magazines. We've got signed Drago trunks from Rocky IV, of course, the legendary Dolph Lundgren, the Soviet boxer that tried to take down Rocky, but Rocky just wouldn't quit. Won it for the USA. Just an all-time great movie. All-timer. Rocky IV is my favorite Rocky movie, period. But I thought that would be kind of a fun pickup, so we picked up the Drago trunks. My son is graduating high school here next week. We've actually got the ceremony coming up. I got him Mike Tyson signed gloves. Kind of a cool little thing. It's got a little plaque there where, it talks about some of his stats. Iron Mike Tyson, heavyweight champ of the world, and that sort of thing. I thought that it was just kind of a cool piece and if you have an 11-year-old daughter like mine, they might be a Swiftie, Taylor Swift fan, and I was able to win this Taylor Swift signed guitar. So it's an album cover that was signed by her and then put on this guitar. So this isn't a concert used guitar or anything. I didn't spend my entire life savings to get it. But this is just kind of a cool, unique item there on Pristine Auction that I picked up for my daughter. It was cool to see her reaction. If you want to check out Pristine, I've got links down below to register, and there is a coupon code as well. $10 off your first auction that you win with Sports Card Dad code. All right, friends, if you watch the channel, you know I'm a huge New Orleans Saints fan, so Drew Brees, one of my PC guys. I've got some nice volume with Brees, and somewhere between 60 and 80 different slabs for him, and I really like picking up stuff like this where it's a select die-cut gold out of 10. This one just happens to be PSA 10, but doesn't have to be necessarily a 10 grade. I do like getting golds numbered out of 10 if I can, but like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a PSA graded or even a 10. If it's a 9, if it's an 8, depending on the price point. If they're already rare cards numbered out of 10 and so forth, numbered out of 5 or whatever it is, then I will pick it up. Brees is kind of my all-time PC guy. For Saints players that are currently playing, there's really only one. I'm not buying Chris Olave. I think that Chris Olave is going to have a big year this year, though, in that new Kubiak offense. It's going to be lit, as the kids say. Riz, I'm trying to figure out the words. I don't know. Anyway, Alvin Kamara is the guy that I am really excited to see hopefully ascend in this offense. I want him to have a great year because he's in a contract year, I believe, this year. I'd like for him to finish his career with the Saints. Even if he went somewhere else, like a McCaffrey went from the Panthers to the 49ers. I know there's McCaffrey collectors. if Kamara goes to like the Falcons, then I don't know if I can still support the Kamara PC, but I do have a few items that I've picked up for him. I'm not collecting 1,000 Kamara cards, but just some nice cards for him. And the fortunate thing is running backs, wide receivers, especially for these mid-career vets, they're fairly inexpensive for the most part, depending on who we're talking about. Tom, Jefferson, Brady, I love to collect this sort of thing too. So this is a 2016 Select, numbered out of 150. I just really like the refractor, the numbered refractor type stuff for Brady. I do have some rookie cards, and I've thought about, do I want to kind of consolidate up into, some of his nicer rookie cards, and I just haven't wanted to do it. I just enjoy the cards. And again, I've probably got 50 to 60 of these types of cards, and included in there some rookie cards as well. But I just enjoy looking at the Panini products, really. I mean, if we're looking at 2012, to 2019 really is what I've bought. I have stayed away from 2020. For Brady, it's easy for me because Brady went to the Bucs. I'm a Saints fan, so I'm not ever going to buy any Brady Bucs stuff. But also the overproduction, the crazy production really came 2020 and forward. Select, no longer hobby only in 2020. This is 2016 where Select stuff actually was fairly limited in a sense as far as the number of parallels and that sort of thing. So I'm just sticking with that for right now. And again, just kind of picking my spots with certain cards. I also do have Topps Chrome Brady stuff as well, and some of the Bowman products are really nice. So I do have a variety of those types of refractors. Now, not really on the PC side, but on the flipping side, so stuff that I'm buying to kind of sell, hopefully, grade out, buy raw, grade it, sell it, and maybe make a few bucks to buy PC stuff. So this is a cool Onyx Drake May card where it's inscribed. So this is the inscription 2022 ACC Player of the Year. Onyx is on-card auto, so that's different from the top stuff. Those first Bowmans, they're all stickers. Onyx has got some cool stuff there. And then we've got some of the new QBs. Texas, Quinn Ewers. And then we've got Will Rogers. Look out for Will Rogers. Actually, I got a tip from a viewer on Will Rogers. He transferred over to Washington. He will be the Washington Husky quarterback. He came over from Mississippi State, and I picked up some of his stuff because it's inexpensive and it's just kind of fun to see how did these guys turn out. I will sell some of this leading up to the season. I won't take a lot of the stuff into the season, but that's just kind of fun speculation type stuff. Still do have a lot of my vintage football rookie cards. Fran Tarkenton here. I've got Bart Starr. I've got Johnny Unitas. So I've got some cool kind of vintage rookie card stuff that are just all-time classics. And then I've got some of just kind of the legends. And there's some really cool, NASCAR stuff. There's really cool race used. This is a Richard Petty on-card auto. If you're looking for race used on-card autos, just really nice looking cards. On the NASCAR side, NASCAR legends, those legends, whether it be Jimmy Johnson or Richard Petty, some of these guys, they made some really nice cards there. So I don't have a ton of it. I've got some of it. Greg Maddux, my favorite pitcher of all time, just because he looks like he could be your neighbor, but just dominated the sport. And also didn't win with, this high velocity pitching that we see now where everybody's got Tommy John surgery 3 times throughout their career. Maddux just had better control than everybody else. That's really what it boiled down to. The guy didn't need to have velocity. He just had better control. So love Greg Maddux. Barry Sanders, one of my all-time favorites. This is first year exquisite. And these are the types of cards I just want to hold on to. These are PC type cards. Outside of kind of those Bowman U and some of the college quarterback stuff, that's just fun too. It also gives me more reason to pay attention to college football, which I haven't done in years past, except for this past season I did. And that was kind of fun too. I'm an NFL guy, but the college game, kind of interesting. Nick Saban leaving Alabama and that kind of opening things up where other schools are now really more in it. And, Clemson not as dominant. Now we got some parity in college football. So I'm interested in following that. All right, on the Marvel card side, 2013 Fleer Retro is a set that is an expensive set to buy into, first year PMGs for the Marvel cards. There are Impel Autos that are basically kind of art cards that are inspired by those old 1990 Impel cards, but this of course is a different design than the 1990 Impel cards. And then the insert signed cards are very difficult to find. And this is the Wolverine 92 Impel inspired. And this, of course, is the 90 Impel inspired. They're not easy to find at all. They are low print. And so that's why it's fun for me to kind of chase those cards because they're not out there. There's not a lot of them out there, especially for the main characters like Spider-Man and for Wolverine. And then, of course, I've got my Stranger Things cards. This is Jim Hopper 2018 on-card autograph. You guys know I collect the Stranger Things stuff. I've heard that Topps Chrome Stranger Things coming out here. I think this year from Topps. That was announced at the Topps conference, so I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, I've got a lot of variety of other types of collectibles, whether it be graded action figures, graded comic books, graded video games. The 80s nostalgia nerd here. That is me, Alf. Alf, right? Am I right? Guys, thank you very much for joining me today, and know that it's okay to collect a variety of things. We don't have to get sucked into one particular group or one particular collectible. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.